Hey everyone, how you doing? It's your boy Clint coming back to you one more time. I don't know, I'll probably be back more than one more time, but I'm back for the first time in a while. I kind of took a little hiatus. We had Master Worlds at the end of August. So kind of had been busy with that, doing just things. I ain't come to I don't even Brent, I'll be honest with you, I lost count of how many I'm on. I think this is episode seven or eight.
Sounds about right.
Gamma Wrestling 101. But my guest, black belt out of Ada, Oklahoma, I do believe. Correct?
It's correct.
Ada, Oklahoma. Brent Rustin, great friend, great competitor. Brent, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Now, I don't know if I talked to you about the drive home from Vegas. Both went to Vegas, had a lovely dinner. Thank you for buying. I do appreciate it.
Oh, would you?
Well, neither here nor there. You under attack?
So I couldn't hear you. I had a background noise.
I know. I was asking if you were under attack.
Oh, no. Just a microwave.
Oh, you're good. You're good. It happens. But no. So we drove out there. So we're going to drive out there, and we went we driving back, and I'm in a place I don't know. I'm going to call it what the crap, New Mexico.
That's going to be the west side of the state.
Yeah, well, I mean, so we're getting close to Texas. We're about an hour and a half from Amarillo. I'm going to tell you how I know that.
Okay.
We're about 50 miles from emptying the tank, and there's this exit, and I really didn't want to stop there, but the wife's like, no, I'm going to be sweating if we go to the next exit. I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay. So we pull off there. The gas, it's just this packed, and I have no patience. Like I said, they said there's another travel center down here. Just go down there. It's spray painted on the side of the building, gas with an arrow on it. So we go through there. Anyway, long story short, it's deserted. We have to go to the other place where we were at to begin with. But we hit something in that lot, popped a tire.
Oh, man.
It's Labor Day in the middle of what the crap, New Mexico. Fortunately, the Firestone in Amarillo, Texas took care of us. It
So they
wasn't
drove out there from Amarillo.
yeah, we had to go from there about an hour and a half to Amarillo on a donut.
Okay.
So it was still, it's nerve-wracking because that donut's your safety net. So now when you're using the safety net, you no longer have a safety net. But we made it about $180 later. So I ended up having to get a new tire in Amarillo. Now, Brent, you've been a black belt since you said 34. Is that correct?
You said Blackfoot since when?
Since you were 30, not the year 1934, but since you were
Yeah.
34. I mean, I'm sorry, you've been doing jiu-jitsu since you were 34 years of age.
Yes. Yeah, 11 some odd years.
So what was the moment that because me and you both, we just discovered we're both wearing wrestling shirts. So it's kind of like when Brock Lesnar got into jiu-jitsu, it was kind of when I started looking at it and going, man, or the MMA. I started getting interested in jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. But that was kind of the moment that piqued my interest into this sport, martial art, if you will. So what was it that got you going? What piqued your interest and got Brent going into jiu-jitsu and MMA?
Well, I don't know if it was the main thing, but certainly like a vast majority of America, seeing Gracie out there in the old VHS UFC stuff, go out there and really, work over these larger guys, till he got hit. So he got hit a few times, and he kind of changed his style up a little bit. But I was aware of jiu-jitsu. I'd done a little bit of cursory study of jiu-jitsu, but seeing it in practice like that, I was like, oh, I kind of have been interested, but I definitely, if I get a chance to learn that, I want to learn it. And then we had a place open up here in town and went for it, and it's been going ever since. Matter of fact, most of the people I trained with initially, well, a lot of them are still doing it, but it's like you see how many guys that come into gyms that life happens.
Yeah.
You got to go some other directions, but how many guys have you and gals have you had brought in and just, even as blue belts, just stop,
No, and and I was thinking about that as you're telling that story. I'm like, yeah, there was 5 of us when I got my blue belt. Like there was five of us at the exact same time got a blue belt. And I'm the only one that I think even got a purple belt, much less brown.
Yeah, and that's hard to watch, especially looking back.
Yeah.
When you realize if you just stayed in it,
Right. Oh no, but I tell everybody because we get up there, we do the rank reviews, and we're always the line. I'm still closer to the end of the line of the black belts, and everything's said by the time they get to me. And I tell them all the time, I was like, getting a black belt is the easiest, hardest thing you'll ever do, because all you got to do is keep showing up, and you're gonna get better, and it's gonna happen. But the hard thing is to keep showing up. I mean, just not a lot of people have the perseverance for it. So
what do you think is the main cause of people that I mean, there's a lot, but what do you think frustrates people that they stop? And maybe stuff outside the dojo. What are some things inside just like people just like, man, I'm just not doing this anymore? What do you think?
I think it is a slow rank process. And we live, and to me, we live in a instant gratification society, a microwave of society, if you will, where we just want to go boop boop boop, 30 seconds a minute, your food's done. So it takes, if you rank up fast, it takes what, a year and a half to get a blue belt, and that's on the quicker side to me.
Yeah, I'd say that we just have all these variants, and that's fine. That's what makes it such an accomplishment. Some schools have a pretty finite system of what they're wanting to see, and and you accomplish list of techniques, which I think is important. We don't really per se have that, but I'm probably going to write it. But I'd say that um, people just get frustrated at because you grapple with a guy and say he's a blue belt, and you roll with him a time or two. He's like, this dude ain't a blue belt no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
I think that's the big thing, that a good instructor is like, yeah, they're not playing like a blue belt anymore. I need to really look at their move than the purple belt.
Well, and everybody learns different at different paces, but I think on average that was one thing. Another one of the things that I think gets in a lot of people's way is and you can speak for this, is ego. I mean, me and you have both done a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments, and me and you have grappled. We've only grappled once, but we've grappled many matches in tournaments. Me and you both just grappled in Las Vegas, Nevada. You're going to take an L. You're going to take a lot of L's.
Yep.
It was, I was telling you about me getting there in Tulsa, same place. I'd went against Daniel Williams, like, and he foot swept me so fast he beat me twice. Jonas did beat me the second time, but Daniel was right here the entire time. And so it's hard because you're going to take those losses, you're going to take those lumps, and you've got to have the ability to get up. And not everybody does.
I think, but it makes you a better human being.
Oh, 100%. Now, no, you're also a judo black belt, correct, Brent?
Yes.
So tell me a little about your journey in judo.
Well, my sensei here in Ada, Sensei Mondahar, he's retired, moved back to Houston with his family. Was very good practitioner, little guy, tiny guy, had both knees replaced. It could still throw. It looked like a painting. I would take a couple still pictures of him sometimes throwing. It looked like someone just, had made a painting. It was so uh, symmetrical, so fluid in his throwing, um, and really enjoyed training there. But to get, I actually got a black belt. My first black belt was from him at his school, but that's not a recognized rank. So I started again as a white belt before I got that black belt because I knew that I needed to have some credentials if I wanted to, open my own place or, you know, be there and have credentials. Because, if someone moves with, that rank that we got at Ada Judo, well, it's not rank anywhere else,
Right. Yeah.
So I started pursuing my rank through USA Judo. I would always go test in Tulsa with Sensei Bregman. He really helped me get that done. He passed away from lung cancer, but he was a really good mentor to me. He was an Olympic referee, so I actually learned a lot from taking tests with him because I wasn't his student at his place. So we had always these little add-ons to it. He'd ask me, "Why did you do that throw that way?" I said, "Well, it's because it's the way in the book. All I have is the book. I just." He goes,
Right.
"Just so you know what to do it." He'd always show me a very modified version of a throw that was like a lot more efficient.
Yeah.
And I just continued with that. Got my actually did when I left Ada Judo, I started training at Conquer, where I'm at now. And my good friend Tommy went up there and took my black belt test with me as my uke. And I don't know if he knew what he was getting into. He got thrown for about 2 hours,
Oh man,
rolled
poor guy.
around. So, but anyway, I'd say I started doing judo, and then I do like judo because it's set up a little different, at least in Oklahoma judo used to be. You got points for competition, points for service, points for going to the clinic. So, the better you did in tournaments, you could promote faster. You still have to pass the written test and
Yeah.
the mat demonstration. So I like that system. I'm not saying it's the best system. I think something added to it would be good, but I'd like to see, some more schools just that would maybe help with some of the frustration
Yeah.
because you can show that I've learned the technique. I'm demonstrating the technique. I have competition points. I have service points, and whatever else you require me, knowledge wise, I've demonstrated that. Um, and I think it encourages some people to like learn a little more history and more technique when you actually have to do something in writing.
Now, what do you think the best way to rank in jiu-jitsu? Because I mean, you have some schools that have rank reviews. That's the way we do it at Gravitas and LDMA. I think they're right here. Some people you just show up and they happen to be giving out rank that day. Do you have a preference at all? Is it just kind of how do y'all do it?
I think that we have a group, of our brown belts, and then myself and Professor Coleman are the black belts at our school. We probably consult at times our master here in Oklahoma, Sandro Sampiao, particularly on higher rank, and get his input as well. So we kind of like have an informal rank review. Somebody will bring up, just to use a hypothetical person, Fred. You know, Maybe we've all kind of rolled with Fred here lately, and man, you know, Fred's really playing smart. He's learning. You know, you can see the steps. Man, but competition is important to me. Um, some people, don't like to compete, and I understand that. Um, but I think if somebody's competing more, they're out there fighting other people, getting more exposure to technique, shows are a little more serious. I think that should help advance promotion a little bit. Not all things are competition driven, but I think that should factor in, particularly in evaluating. Well, yeah, it's kind of fast. Um, do we do them now? So we talk to each other, and just we'll usually have a consensus.
Well, and I think, but I agree with something you said there. I think competition is the best way to figure out where you are. I really do. If you want to know where you are, compete, because whenever you're going to go your hardest, I'm going to go my hardest. It's
Yep.
my best versus
Yep.
your. It's not like, well, I've been working on this. Like, no, here is Clint Clark's A game. Here's Brent's A game. Let's see who wins. And it's the best way to find out where you are. That's 100% my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Now you also, you're telling me when we're talking about traveling, I'm driving out there, you're saying stop by here, stop by here. Now you're not. I'm trying to think how to ask this. You're not just into hiking. You're like into super duper hiking. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we haven't done much through hiking. We've done some trekking with company that we like to use, taking some pretty fantastic treks. We're packing our gear and food, but you have a guide. So as far as like doing it all ourselves, we haven't got that far in the process yet. We want to. We'd like to hike the Appalachian Trail someday. Maybe not all at one time, maybe split it up, but that's kind of a pinnacle that I'd like to do. So start to learn about getting your weights, your food, water filtration. Start picking, man, what about the weather? What about, what it's all about weight that in your pack. Because when it breaks you down, it's going to break you down pretty bad that you're stuck.
So what's the furthest you've ever ventured out on a journey?
Like miles or just like out to camp?
Either way, just tell me both. Just tell me about it.
We probably hiked about 12 or 15 miles in one day, I'd say. Be about the furthest hike we've ever done in a day.
Yeah. Now, where was that at?
Oh, we've probably done that a couple times. Had a pretty long one at Albuquerque one time because we were supposed to hike up and then ride the tram down. Well, we got up there and the tram was closed. So that was about 15 miles, 7 miles one way, 7 back the other. But that's kind of an out and back.
Yeah.
Done some longer hiking in Utah area. Done some pretty long hikes in Zion. That's a great place. Zion's beautiful.
Yeah.
Some Colorado hikes, Rocky Mountain National Park primarily. I'd say those were some of the longer hikes that we did without a guide.
Well, when we were driving out, and you mentioned Zion, because we were like, okay, there are 3 places we planned on hitting. Other than, of course, we hit the Cadillac Ranch and the Slug Bug Ranch in Amarillo, took some pictures out there, but we hit Arches National Park on the way out there.
Sorry it's so hot over there.
Oh man, and dude, I actually going to get to the story. No, it's a beautiful park, but it's just hard to get down and out there because it was miserable hot. We were going to go by Zion, and we just ran out of time. Just ran out of time, and we hit the Grand Canyon on the way back. So that was nice. Now, when we were in Las Vegas, we hit Valley of the Fire State Park out there. I think that's the name of it.
What side of town is that on?
Don't get me lying to you. But it was a state park, but they had all the trails. It said you might die. Like that's what it said, going like walking trail closed, you might die. They're like, don't do it.
Hot.
Don't do it. Now you've got it. And now, have you ever hiked around there in Vegas at Red Rock?
Yes, I've gone there twice. I was out there by myself one time, trying to kind of climb my way out of this canyon I'd been to the first time. I was trying to get out, trying to find a way to crawl out of it. Right. And I kind of fell a little bit. I was sliding down. I inverted, so I was facing the rock face. And then I started sliding down. I was like, I'm fixing to fall. So I turned around where my head Now all sliding all the time, hands, feet, kind of like Spider-Man, but I'm falling. And I'm fixing to come off this drop off where it got real straight. And I thought, I'm fixing to go. So I actually picked my arm up to judo roll, and hopefully it creates some type of a break fall to where I didn't die. And I stopped right at the edge, and I got down. But yeah,
if that heart
I
was
learned a bit more. Yeah, I really thought I was fixing to get hurt pretty bad, and I won't lie.
No, I bet
that one got my attention.
I bet. Now we both did Master Worlds again. Now,
Yep.
What all ranks have you done Master Worlds at now?
Blue belt, brown belt, and black belt.
Okay. So I did it at purple, brown belt, and I've done it at black belt. So, what is your thoughts on how that tournament's progressed now? Just because it is, I tell everybody, I'm like, it's a different animal altogether. Like you don't comprehend what Master Worlds is like until you're out there.
A lot of people, a lot of brackets. I think that actually this time, because when I went there as a blue belt, of course, just bombarded with just stuff. I've had a lot of competition since that time. So showing up to a competition, and I was fairly new to the IBJJF too, and it just seemed a lot louder, like a lot more confusing as a blue belt. Maybe a little more distractions just because less experience.
Yeah.
And then brown belt was less so. And this one just is like, there's a lot of people there. It was a lot of energy, but it just didn't seem as oppressive. I think they had it in a little bigger area. I think that helped. It just seemed to be less of a distraction and less just more like I'm here to do what I need to do.
Right. Yeah. There was. Well, I think I think it was the podcast with Mark Batindry, which I didn't. I mean, you look at the spelling of his last name, you'd never guess is Batindry. He told me how.
I'm trying to remember it.
Yeah. Now he no, but I said we're seasoned now. We've come a long way. Because like the first time I did it, I think there was only like 20 mats. And I remember thinking like, holy cow, there's 20 mats out here. This time there was 32.
Yeah, 30 this time, right?
Yeah, I thought it was 32. And that's not even counting the 10 mats they have at Jiu-Jitsu Con on the other side of the building.
Yep.
I mean, well, but I think they crammed it in 3 days. Obviously, the big story on this Master Worlds, other than the fact that technically me and you both won a match, we'll get to that. I mean, you actually won yours. I just kind of got like the guy didn't show up. But Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson, he was out there. What did you think about the the talk and the hubbub that was Demetrius Johnson participating in Master World?
I didn't hear any of it, so you're gonna have to fill me in.
Oh, okay, yeah, Demetrius Johnson. Think whatever the smallest weight class is, he's considered the GOAT of that division. Competed, but I mean, he's on the talk. When you talk UFC Mount Rushmore, he's in the conversation. But he went and competed and won his bracket at Master Worlds. Well, it was funny that Aaron, the guy that was with me, Aaron Miyahara, he literally went on the exact same mat as Mighty Mouse. So I was sitting on the black belt row. He's got like a whole YouTube thing that he put out, and I'm in it because you can see me trying to get by his coaches tab, like yapping their gums because Aaron's done. I'm like, I'd like to get by now, but you can see this beautiful face in his documentary. So, well, okay, now let's just get into it. You won your first match at black belt, which I always, me well enough to know I don't take a walkover win as a win. So in my opinion, I was 0-1 at the tournament. The bracket will say I was 1-1. I was 0-1. Um, but no, you actually got out there and won a match, and that is one of the most impressive things. It's impressive anytime you win at black belt. It really is. I don't care if it's
I'd agree with that. In any tournament, really.
yeah. I don't care if it's the Arkansas Open, if it's the Tulsa Open, if it's IBJJF from New Orleans, if it's Master Worlds. Anytime you win a match at a black belt, if you win a tournament at black belt, it is an impressive feat because those guys have made it, whoever you're going against has made it far enough in the process that somebody who has the authority looked at that guy and goes, he's mastered this art.
Yep. My first black belt tournament was Houston, IBJJF. So I was like, I'm going to go. And just I did win a match. That was a good win for me that day. So that was encouraging. But it was the losses that, those guys didn't just destroy me. That I made them a very small mistake, or they just took advantage of me not moving fast enough. And just that level of like you can beat anybody out there and they can beat you. It is really while it's not an equal playing field, we both fought guys that have been like, yeah, that guy's great. If he messed up, I think I could get him, but he's he's good. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I know 100%.
But I really enjoyed that tournament because it just, it solidified just, being a black belt, winning a match. He was the number 7 guy in our age bracket. I caught him in a knee bar, but the other guys that beat me, I fought Mark my very first match, actually. That was 2-0. I was like, man, this guy's a good player, but, I fight him again. I think I could do it. I mean, I can hang with this guy, and the matches are so tight. I mean, so tight, just
no, they really
tough,
are.
but I love it.
Well, because I went my first one, I did the pans. I did the pans in Orlando, and I was about had a nervous breakdown beforehand because the imposter syndrome sets in. Like I don't belong, and then you get out there, you're like, okay, I can hang out here. You get it, but it took me going out there and doing it to be like, all right, okay.
I agree.
But now you're seeing a lot of guys that we grew up with, that are black belts now. I know we've talked about Mark quite a bit. John McCown, me and you both have a history with him.
Fought him as a blue belt a lot up here before he moved.
Yeah, see, and I fought him quite a bit. I fought him twice in Texas, and we went against each other at Master Worlds at purple belt. And then I actually one of the last times I was driving through Houston, I stopped and trained at his academy there, and we had a big boy open mat. It was a lot of fun. But okay, so you hit a knee bar. How did you feel when you got out there? When it finally got out there, you locked up, y'all started playing. Tell me a little bit about your match.
Well, the little guy was I can't pronounce his name. It's Bernatello. It's not quite right. And of course, it was an open division, and I didn't know he was ranked or anything. As far as that match, and we were scrambling on the ground. I'm not sure who had any points or not. And I've been hitting this knee bar from the bottom of half guard. And I felt him sliding through. I said, I'm going to go for this. And he kind of put his hand on me to tap. But he didn't tap. So I took it a little further, and he started tapping. It actually wound up hurting him a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that was my second win of the day that day. But the other one had been by advantage. That one felt a lot better to get it by submission for sure. So that was a good first tournament for me. Got to meet Mark, like I mentioned. I'd say that really kind of was like the highlight of my day because he's a good dude. You just meet somebody in 5 minutes, you're like, yeah, this guy's a good guy. And
yeah, man, I tell you, and you've always been there. I felt like you've always been there for me to encourage me when I was going through surgeries and stuff like that. Like, hey, man, like I see you at a tournament and we ain't going against each other. You're like, hey, you've come back from a lot, man. Go out there and have fun, enjoy it, but go hard.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I can tell you, I appreciate it. It don't go unnoticed. It really doesn't.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah. So when are you planning on competing again?
Going to go to Waco, 1st of December.
Yeah.
I've never done that one. Close enough to swing down there and go down there and get back to it. And got a few things I want to work on and keep trying to chip away at some points if I can pick some up every now and then.
So are you planning on trying to head out to Vegas again next year?
I'm going to wait about probably 3 years.
Yeah.
Then make a little trip out of it with my wife, Adrian, and go out there and just like you guys did.
Oh yeah, no, it's a fun road trip. It really is. Yeah. So now you did volunteer to help me out. You know, my friend Jerry, we did a super fight against each other in Memphis. It depends on where it is, but you said that you'd do a super fight against me when I turn 50 because I want my last match. I want my last match. Big deal is Kid Rock did a song called "I'm 50." And I want my last match. I want to walk out to the Kid Rock. I guess I'm 50. And
okay.
Anyway, it can't be an all ages audience. He's got some salty language in the song, but if I figure if I turn 50, what do I care? Let me have my fun. I've been
right.
made it this far. Brent, what are some of your favorite?
We doing gi or no gi in this fight?
No, I ain't doing no gi. You'll heel hook me. Nope. We'll do.
Yeah, I might by then.
Yeah. Now, what are some of your favorite techniques you like going for? What's your go-to judo throw? And something you would recommend for big guys like me?
Dayashi Barai. There's not a close second as far as my judo throws. Dayashi Barai, which translates advanced foot sweep. So I'm sweeping your front foot. Definitely a foot sweep player.
Okay. Now, let's just say I'm a brand new white belt, or let's say I'm a 2-year black belt. Either way, what if I'm going against a judo player such as yourself? What do I need to be looking out for when you go for this takedown? Or you don't
for the foot sweep?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just wanting you to get heavy on your front foot or catch you stepping. So I'm going to either lift you up to where your front foot's light and then sweep it, or catch you as you're starting to step. Kind of like if you're shooting something out of the air, like you're throwing up a shotgun shell and you're going to shoot out of the air or whatever. You want to catch it right at the top where it's inert. Boom, that's where you want to hit it. So that would be a good analogy of when to throw that foot sweep.
Okay. So you want to watch them. They're going to be planning on trying to see when that weight comes off that front foot, and then just
or circling or whatever. There's just so many times. Maybe think of that as your jab. To use a boxing analogy, think of your foot sweep as your jab. So you can jab to set up your other throws.
Yeah. How important is timing in judo?
Well, I think just like jujitsu. I mean, it's just about repetition and just finding that spot and time to do it. Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Well, and you can tell as you get older and more advanced in this game, there's something about the way the higher the belt is, something about the way they just grab you. If that makes sense. You can just you can take the belt off and then someone just grab you with a cross lapel grip. You're like, all right, that guy's a blue belt. That's a brown belt grip. I firmly believe you could tell, because when I grab you, I let you know, like, hey, I've grabbed you.
That's right. I like that.
I've grabbed you. Now, Brent, let's go down memory lane a little bit. It's I don't know, what is it, 2018, 2019? Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't know what year it was.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, AGF is a great organization.
It is.
Nothing but respect for Brandon Quick. nothing but respect for Chris Carlino, but these 6-minute rounds in the Masters division are some bull crap.
They're
yeah,
sometimes we play pretty slow though. Sometimes maybe we need that 6 minutes.
Yeah. So now me and you it was AGF Nationals, which listen, they did you dirty. I'm gonna tell you how they did you dirty. You had grappled other tournaments that day, 3 other brackets. You had grappled those.
Yeah.
And then they put you and I remember I signed up for ultra heavyweight. I don't like doing absolute. It's not, listen, I don't want to chase small people around the mat. It's not my idea of a good time. If you want to do that, do it. It's not for me. So there wasn't because you were competing at super heavy, not ultra heavy. So they just did like a 3-man absolute bracket. So you'd done 3 other divisions that day. They stuck you in the first match against Jeremy Bishop, who Jeremy had.
I don't remember that match. I remember our match. How did that one go? I don't remember.
You lost.
Do you remember?
You lost on points because you lost it and had to go against me. So
okay.
I'm telling you all that not to make an excuse for you, but I just want to tell you, you had some adversity going into it because you had grappled quite a bit that day, and it was the first time I slapped anyone's hand that day when me and you went against each other. So what do you remember about our match?
I remember being behind. It probably was underneath you for quite a while. And I remember definitely at the end, I'd got some points back and time was running out and you'd kind of turtled up. And I was just cranking on you, trying to get hook set. And I think I got my left foot in and it actually stepped over and was fixing to sit down and try to roll you. And I think time ran out. That's how I remember the end.
Yeah, because I patted your hands like right as the buzzer rang, just like, hey, man, good job. And I was like, oh, crap, maybe I did that too soon. They're like, I didn't tap. Because I think it was 6-4 is what I think the score ended up.
If I'd got those 4 points, I would have won. I remember that.
Yeah, you'd have won. You had taken my back.
Yeah, but I didn't set the hooks yet.
Yeah, but so it was 6-4. So it was, it was close because I'd pulled I'd been working hard on my wrestling. I remember that. And which made me, I didn't know at the time that you were judo black belt, which made me feel really good that I didn't get taken down. I didn't feel good about pulling guard, but now looking back, I feel really good that I didn't get taken down. But I caught you with that leg lasso sweep.
Yeah, probably. I still get caught with that. I got to work on that.
Yeah, well, it's you know, you got one of them. You got a few of them techniques. They're just that old standby that's in the back pocket, and that one just happened to be that's my go-to. And it just happened to be.
What's a world-class sweep? I mean, honestly, when it's in deep, it's hard to deal with.
Yeah. Well, and there's also the bicep slicer coming up, and I didn't know. I might could have caught it. I don't know if I could have or not. I don't know if I was that good at it back then. Now I would consider myself pretty proficient with that bicep slicer which trapped coming up. But I didn't know it was legal. And because AGF always their rule set usually is a belt beforehand. What's legal at brown belt, IBJJF is legal at AGF purple belt.
Right.
And so on and so forth. So
I'm not sure at that time if it was legal or not. I know that they when they swept in and changed wrist locks to be legal for white belts, and they took some of the stuff they were holding in brown belt and they slid it all down to purple belt.
Yeah. I do what I do, and if I get disqualified for it, then so be it. That's kind of
well, now it don't matter.
I've got what I call my game now, and that's what I'm going to play, and it's served me good so far. Now, where's your favorite place you've gone to compete at? Like where's like, okay, I've traveled here. I know Vegas is obviously always fun, Because
it's
me and you are both
fun to get
weird.
out there.
Yeah, because me and you are both weird. I gambled $5 this last time when we were in Vegas, and that was for somebody else. That they told me to put it in the slot machine for their birthday, and I did. That was all again. But I go out there and I do other stuff and have fun. So, where is it that you like to go?
Well, gone Austin, Houston. Houston I don't care for. I mean, as far as stuff to do.
Yeah.
Austin's. I got a place I like to go eat at down there called Kirby Lanes. Always like to go eat there. So that's kind of a fun thing. Definitely if I drive past a Buc-ee's, I'm probably going to stop.
Well, how can you not?
Yeah, man, they got good stuff.
I've got a Buc-ee
I
store.
don't know that I necessarily have a favorite. I just like to go.
Yeah, it's always fun to go see a new place and like maybe do a jiu-jitsu tournament while you're there. That's
Oh no, I've got lots of places like that. I'd love to go compete. I'd like to go to Europe one time and do one over there just to do it. California, I can see my brother. Anywhere in Arizona. I don't know. Denver, I'd like to go back to Denver, do it.
I did get to compete in the pyramid. I went and did Long Beach out there. And so that one was a fun experience to get to do that one.
What do you think about out there as far as getting around and just, places to do stuff?
Yeah, well, I got a college football teammate that lives out there. So he actually we Ubered from the airport to his house and they drove us everywhere. It's not fun getting around, but it was nice. I enjoyed it. The food was amazing. But they kind of just drove us around. I was able to kind of we drove down Rodeo and saw the Hollywood sign and the Chinese theater and all that. So it was a hoot because that's one of the things that I think I like about jiu-jitsu is I've seen so much stuff that I wouldn't have seen if I wasn't there to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me giving myself an excuse to go see these places. Because I don't see me just going like, hey, I'm gonna go to New York City. It was like,
yeah, you need a reason. You need a reason,
Yeah, I'm gonna go to New York City and do the New York Open. I was thinking of, because I was thinking like, okay, I'm gonna compete out of the country. So I think I was planning on Toronto next year, but I kind of decided like I want to go back to Master Worlds next year. I feel like I just gotten back to training good. And obviously, I had to admit to you that I skipped open mat today, which didn't feel good. Because you asked me how it goes, I'm like, I didn't go. So, so that's that accountability I need sometimes. So, like, if I got to tell you, like, hey, I didn't do it. But like, I like, okay, I'll have over a full year back. If I go back next year, and hopefully, I feel like my conditioning, I'm where I need to be. Because this year, I think it was for me. I'm not trying to make this podcast about me, Brent, but but I think this year was more about like, okay, I got back out there.
I agree with that.
I went through it. I got back out there. Some people didn't think I could do it, but I did it. I think that's kind of where I was with it.
Well, let me say some things about you, Mr. Clint. I don't that way if somebody's listening to this and they don't know some of your story, and I don't know all the details, but you've had some very crippling injuries that a person just going through normal day life, which you're still dealing with some of that, would be very debilitating. So for you to go back and be even willing to even train jiu-jitsu again after your injuries, which you're still healing from, but then to go back out and just go compete, that says a lot to your heart and your desire and love of the art. And I greatly appreciate that as your friend.
No, and man, and I do. I appreciate it a bunch. I mean, now I'd also really appreciated dinner. We went. What was the name of the restaurant we went to? Can you remember? It was an Italian restaurant,
something like that.
It was an Italian restaurant.
It's like Fresca's.
Yeah, Fresca's something.
It's good. It's really good.
It was real good as Italian restaurant in the Westgate. Which we got reservations at, because now, to tell the backstory, you were doing the Arkansas Open. I definitely didn't feel like I was ready to compete at that time. But you had said, "Hey, I'm coming down." And so I told you, I said, "Man, don't worry about getting a hotel. You can just stay with me." So
yeah, that was awesome, man.
Man, I appreciate it. Came around, stayed on the farm, looked at all my animal, saw the
that
people.
Was cool.
Then, well, how was the steak that night?
It was good. It's great.
And we cooked my wife cooked a tomahawk for us. So we split that. Yep. And that's the good thing about competing at ultra heavyweight is you don't have to make weight.
I was the smallest guy in that bracket out there, Lex. I'm pretty sure. You know what? I don't care. It is just so much easier to just, train hard and just be like, just let your body go where it needs to go. It's just healthier. I wish they had a 235-pound bracket, though. I won't lie.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you, because that's the thing about ultra heavyweight. You don't know what you're going to get. I mean, you're what, 6'2", 2'2"?
Yeah, 6'2", about 230, 225.
225, 230. So you're on the smaller end. I'm about 6'4", about 300. And then you just don't know what you're going to get. You could get somebody built like me, somebody built like you, somebody built like Gabriel Gonzaga, somebody looks like they're chiseled out of stone.
Or a bowling ball. The bowling balls are the toughest to deal with.
Yeah, the different body types and the different challenges they bring. That ultra heavyweight ain't always the most fun bracket to watch, but it's probably some of the most interesting chess matches to watch. Because
yes,
because it moves at a slower pace, but when they move, there's so much more intent behind it than I believe probably any other weight class.
They're looking for one small crease for the mountain to go through. I mean, it's just a battle of mountains. Just nudge, 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 and feel just the right click, and boom.
Yeah. And it's that way at every rank too. I mean, it's just
that's true.
But in the ultra heavyweight division, but I think that crease that they're looking for gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Like I got wrist locked, and I don't even remember how it was set up. But I mean, it was quick, it was fast, and it was on my messed up hand. So I wasn't about to. I was like, "You win, tap, tap, tap." And the guy that beat me, I can't remember his name, but I told him, I said, "Yeah, I just come back from surgery on this hand." He's like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know." I'm like, I didn't want you to know. Number one, because if you're a jerk, I wouldn't want you to target it. And number two, if you're a super nice guy, I wouldn't want you not to target me.
Yeah.
I want to go out there and see what you're going to do, and then I'm going to see what I'm going to do. And if you get me in danger, then you know what? I'm going to tap, and I'm going to live to fight another day.
So, that's the name of the game, particularly at our young and tender age of 45, and you're what, 46, 47?
47.
Okay, yeah, we don't heal up as good as we used to. We got to be smart.
Yeah. No, definitely. And the one guy that is undefeated is definitely Father Time.
Yeah, every time.
Brent, I appreciate you so much for coming on with me today. I know we got
I enjoyed it.
Difficulties, and we made it happen. So I do appreciate you, and hopefully it wasn't the most painful thing you've ever gone through.
Oh, I'll be glad that if ever want to have another one, I would love to be on again.
Oh no, for sure. And I either need to make my way down to Ada. I need to find a weekend. I need to come to Ada, and we need to train together. Is what needs to happen. I think, man, just in this area, within a 5-hour drive, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, there are some very, very talented ultra heavyweights. Very, very talented. I would put myself on the list, and you got guys like Shane Goforth, Daniel Williams, yourself, John McCown.
Yeah.
Mark's lost weight, so I'm not going to count him anymore. He's down there living that super heavy life, so he can keep doing that.
Yeah, eventually I'm going to have to go back and do that, but that's down the road.
But pasta's more fun. So
yes, pasta's always fun.
Pasta's always fun. Well, Brent, thank you so much. Guys, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Till the next time.
See ya.
Hold on.